Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Alexis Bellino accuses Shannon Beador of writing her own narratives in fiery RHOC sneak peek. In recent episodes, we've had a bit of respite from Alexis Bellino and Shannon Beador's confrontations on The Real Housewives of Orange County. Sadly, their feud will return to the surface during the upcoming season finale. They're like oil and water, and there's minimal chance they'll ever appear on the show together after the season ends. Alexis throws Jennifer Pedranti and Ryan Boyajian an engagement party in a new sneak peek for the final episode. While planning the big event, she stops by Tamra Judge's home, and the two waste no time talking about Shannon. Tamra opens up to Alexis about what happened in London and how she believes that Shannon was the driving force behind her latest friction with Jennifer. If you've been keeping up with the show this season, you'll recall that Shannon claimed during the London trip that Tamra had ordered a background check on Jennifer's fiancé, Ryan Boyajian. In the aftermath, Tamra shared text messages that indicated Shannon was just as interested in his past, leaving viewers questioning the truth. We're sure it will be a big talking point at the reunion. Tamra opens up about Shannon's London antics. In the season finale footage, Tamra tells Alexis that she's never conducted background checks on anyone. On the other hand, Alexis admitted she had done them before and wasn't opposed to it. Ultimately, Alexis sympathizes with Tamra's current situation with Shannon because she believes that Shannon writes her own narratives. Alexis then takes to a confessional to say that it's exactly what's been happening over the years in anything Shannon has said about John Jansen. Alexis has been vocal throughout the season, claiming that Shannon has purposefully said bad things about John for years, so that the women will side with her. The dynamics have been complicated this season because Alexis is now in a relationship with him, so the women have been forced to form their own opinions of him. It's been a lot, but in Alexis's defense, Shannon has said a lot about John on the show, so we guess it's natural that she would want to defend her man. Will John and Shannon face off in the final? It will be an exciting episode because we already know that John shows up at the party while Shannon is there, meaning they will be forced to have an awkward reunion. This season, there has been much back and forth between them through lawyers over Shannon allegedly owing him $75,000. Hopefully they will discuss that to find some closure because we can't let this drag into RHOC season 19. We already know the show will likely undergo a revamp next season, so a handful of stars may not be back. In a sneak peek from The Real Housewives of Orange County, Alexis Bellino isn't holding back as she takes aim at her former castmate, Shannon Beador, accusing her of spinning stories that suit her personal agenda. The tensed preview hints at years of unresolved issues and simmering resentments as Alexis brings her grievances to light. The teaser begins with a serene backdrop at what seems to be a casual gathering, but as Bravo fans know, any calm setting can quickly turn chaotic in the world of RHOC. In the scene, Alexis sits across from Shannon, her usually warm expression visibly hardened. The two women, known for their fiery personalities, have a long history of clashing over different views, personalities, and approaches to life in the OC. Alexis starts by addressing Shannon's habit of creating her own narratives, a claim that has followed Shannon throughout her time on the show. "It's like you live in your own little reality," Alexis says, her voice calm but tinged with frustration. "You twist things to fit your version of events, and don't think about how it affects everyone else." Her words land with force, and the tension is palpable. Shannon, true to form, doesn't seem intimidated and responds with a defensive edge that only adds fuel to the fire. Shannon tries to brush off Alexis's accusations, laughing dismissively. "That's ridiculous, Alexis," she retorts, rolling her eyes. "I tell the truth, and if you can't handle that, it's not my problem." But her laughter feels forced, and the viewers can sense that she knows Alexis has hit a nerve. Over the years, fans have watched Shannon weather all kinds of conflicts, many of which seem to follow a pattern. She would take control of the narrative, often painting herself as the victim in a web of dramatic events. Alexis isn't the first RHOC cast member to notice this tendency, but she might be one of the few to call her out so directly. For Alexis, it's a matter of integrity, and she isn't willing to let Shannon control the story any longer. The back and forth between the two housewives escalates as Alexis dives deeper, bringing up specific instances where Shannon's version of events didn't quite line up with reality. She recounts a time when Shannon allegedly twisted words to make her look bad, something that had frustrated Alexis and damaged their friendship. "You made it sound like I was attacking you, Shannon," Alexis recalls, her voice thick with emotion. "All I did was offer some advice, and you turned it into this big dramatic story that just wasn't true." Shannon, visibly uncomfortable, deflects. "I don't know why you're bringing up the past, Alexis. We've all moved on." But Alexis shakes her head, unwilling to let Shannon's dismissal end the conversation. "We may have moved on, but the pattern is still there, Shannon. It's still happening." The confrontation becomes a raw and revealing moment, with Alexis challenging Shannon's refusal to own up to her actions. "It's not just me," she says, gesturing to other women present, as if inviting them to back her up. "You do this with everyone here. You create these stories where you're the only one who's right, and anyone who disagrees is suddenly the villain. It's exhausting, Shannon." As the tension mounts, the other housewives sit in a mix of discomfort and fascination. Emily Simpson, usually a calm observer, leans in, her expression showing intrigue and maybe a hint of agreement with Alexis. Tamra Judge, always one to encourage a showdown, looks ready to chime in, but for once she holds back, perhaps sensing the depth of Alexis's emotions. Shannon, meanwhile, struggles to maintain her composure. Her usual defenses seem to falter as Alexis keeps pressing, challenging Shannon to face her own contradictions. Shannon attempts one last deflection, insisting that Alexis is blowing things out of proportion. But this time the words lack conviction and Alexis seizes the opportunity. "That's exactly what I mean, Shannon," she says, her tone both firm and weary. "You twist everything until you're the only one who comes out clean." The other housewives look on, and the camera captures their reactions, each face a testament to the impact of Alexis's words. It's rare to see Shannon so off balance, and the moment feels like a tipping point, not just for her and Alexis, but for the group dynamic as a whole. In true art HOC fashion, the scene promises explosive repercussions as alliances shift and friendships are tested. In a later confessional, Alexis reflects on the confrontation, her voice steady but introspective. "I'm not here to fight with Shannon for the sake of fighting," she explains. "But I can't stand by while she rewrites history to make herself look better. That's not fair to me or to anyone else." The camera cuts to Shannon's confessional, where she seems defensive, perhaps even hurt. "I don't know why Alexis has decided to attack me like this," she says, her voice tinged with sadness. "I'm just trying to live my life. If she has a problem with that, it's on her." The sneak peek concludes with a lingering shot of Alexis and Shannon, each standing their ground, neither willing to back down. It's a moment that encapsulates years of complex emotions, misunderstandings, and unspoken grievances between two strong-willed women. In this fiery exchange, viewers get a glimpse of what's to come in the season, and it's clear that Alexis is ready to make her voice heard. As the episode leaves fans in anticipation, one thing is certain: the showdown between Alexis Bellino and Shannon Beador isn't just a passing squabble. It's a reckoning years in the making, a confrontation that will push both women to confront their own flaws and insecurities. Whether they can find common ground remains to be seen, but one thing is for sure: Alexis is done letting Shannon dictate the narrative. In this season of RHOC, the truth has never been more up for debate, and with Alexis taking a stand, the stage is set for one of the most dramatic seasons yet.